There was one thing that did make me wish I was there. You met a person of note. Yeah, why not? Yeah, you met a person of note there, and I felt bad for you because this seems to be your fucking lot in life. It consistently happens to you. There's a guy. Let me see. What's his name here?
Do you know this guy, Quinn?
No. Fred.
You don't recognize the artwork?
It's like didn't a 7-year-old draw that?
The Mad magazine.
not that bad.
This guy's famous.
Yeah, his Superman is famous, right? Like he always draws them like that.
And he draws everybody to look like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll let the people in on it. His name is Fred Hembecker, and
Fred Hembeck.
It looks like R here. His name is Fred. Read this, Quinn. Read that. What does that look like to you?
It does look like Fred Hembecker.
Right. And an uninitiated person like me would call it, even you would say, that looks like Hembecker, right?
It's Hembeck.
Okay, well, it's I know it's Hembeck now. As if I'm like fucking mixing up the president's name. It's fucking some guy who used to draw. Basically, give a little bit of his history.
Fred Hembeck. Like, who's the most famous comic book artist that, like, the most famous in terms of being like the average person might have a chance of being like, oh, I know that guy. There's probably nobody through the real world.
Artist-wise, nah, not really.
Jack Kirby, maybe.
That's a stretch, but yeah.
All right.
Sergio Aragnas. Right?
I don't know if anybody know that over Kirby.
Basically, Hembeck is a guy who he broke into the field as kind of like a humorous cartoonist, and he would take
his cover's making me laugh.
Absurd like concepts involving Spider-Man, or he would like intercross, like, Spider-Man would meet Superman in a strip,
right? And
it would be like some humorous
it wasn't funny is what you're trying to say.
No, I actually was a fan of it. I actually enjoyed
when you were
his work
young.
When I was a young teen.
How old were you?
Like 12 to 14 is when
At 14, you're like, oh, Hembecker. You've crossed Spidey and Soups again? Wait, Spidey's wearing his cape?
No, I'm not saying that I would laugh out loud, but I'm not going to lie and say that I did not find his work enjoyable, though.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
I think you're remembering it wrong. I think you were probably younger than 14. I knew you at 14.
Even at 14.
So you were in ninth grade fucking knee slapping at this fucking shit that I'm looking at right now?
It was clever.
Okay.
All right, whatever. I noticed when we get, because the baseball stadium gave away a comic book, a free giveaway. And on the cover artist of this free giveaway is Fred Hembeck. I noticed it.
Childhood fucking hero.
When I walked through the doors, I was like,
into teens.
It took a millisecond for me to recognize it was Fred Hembeck's artwork.
Right.
I say there's
mostly because Fred Hembeck has a job at the stadium now handing out free comics.
No. So then I say to myself, there's only going to be one other person who knows Fred Hembeck in the stadium, Mike, when he gets here, because Mike wasn't there yet.
Mike's very knowledgeable about comics.
Right. He knew it was Fred Hembeck immediately. Bing, you recognize the name, but you wouldn't recognize the art style.
No, I wouldn't.
Because he said this guy wrote a column for movie Poop Shoot.
Quick Stop Entertainment.
Mm.
It's called the Fred Hembeck Show.
How was that?
I don't know. I never really read it.
Really? You didn't sit there fucking slapping your knee?
I wasn't.
Like a 1983 Walt Flanagan?
So I didn't think that Fred Hembeck was in the stadium, though. We're setting up, and over to PA it says Fred Hembeck is on the mound and he's going to throw out the first pitch.
Which I guess is somewhat of a is that an honor?
Yeah, I mean, at a minor league game, they'll get the town drunk to throw out the fucking first ball. I mean, who cares?
So you're equating Fred Hembeck to the town drunk, a guy who can't even get it together enough to get the money to get into the stadium. Do you know any other notables that threw out the first pitch at the stadium?
I threw it a first pitch.
You did?
Proves my point.
All right. Now I got a very clear idea of like.
When did you throw out a first pitch?
They see Ming fucking stuffing a sign into the garbage. Like, hey, you got a minute? You want to throw out the first pitch?
It's not something everybody gets to do. Although at this particular stadium, you can buy a package for like $400.
That allows you to do it?
You get
so you can pay to do
pitch.
it.
You can pay to do it.
You didn't buy that package.
I didn't pay $400.
It wasn't this stadium you did it at.
No,
though.
it wasn't. It was down in Baltimore.
And how did you get it? How did
I
this
won
happen?
a logo contest and part of the.
Oh, was that logo contest?
Yeah,
part of it? All right.
And I get to do it again because I won the other logo contest.
Yeah, after the town drunk throws his first.
Right.
Right. Accidentally throws a scotch bottle at the catcher. Holy shit! I still get my turn. How'd you do with that first pitch? Did you do a good job?
Yeah, I did a good job.
Throw it, what's it called, down the pipes? Is that it?
I did a good job. There's a video on YouTube of me doing it.
Did you
Really?
see Obama throw out the first pitch? He threw it like a
fairy, like a pansy.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
There's a
And
couple
he was wearing
like
these jeans that like went up to his navel.
oh, was he like wearing mom jeans for some reason?
Crazy.
What's it? Oh, Quinn.
All right. Well, anyway, Fred Hembeck's on the mound.
So he's on the mound and he's going to throw it out. He's thinking he's hot shit.
No. I'm not saying that. So I realized, after the PA says he's there, that he's at the stadium, and then they say
There's a resounding who, and you're like, wait, did they say boo or who?
At the game,
failed
at
to
that
arrive
time.
that
for the
game? How many
crowd.
people are in the stadium?
They said the announced attendance was 5,100 people.
Okay, so
a lot.
5,098 probably don't know who Fred Hembeck is.
There's two guys that do,
Guess.
and they're like, you and Mike.
I'm excited.
He's like, I've done that shit before. Big deal. Fuck Fred Hembeck.
So they announced that Fred Hembeck will be signing
Suck a dick.
the comic book behind home plate where we are.
Uh-huh.
So he gets up there and he goes to the table, and some parents are bringing their kids over to get the comic book signed. And you know the mindset of these parents with their kids. They don't know who Fred Hembeck is.
If somebody's signing something, they're like,
They want it signed
It
for whatever
seems
reason.
right.
Yeah.
It seems like impressive to the kids, and like this is for some reason this is meaningful because somebody's writing their name on it, which I can attest that it's not. I've written my name on plenty of shit, and it fucking hasn't meant anything.
So I get the courage up, and I announce that I'm going to go over there. And I'm going
Strap
to
on
get
your
this
diaper
signed.
just in case. Just in case.
And I'm going to get it signed. And not only am I going to get it signed, I'm actually going to say something to him. And I don't ever do this. I'm going to be like, hey man, I really was a fan of your stuff. I enjoyed it a lot. And
Clearly, you're being
mind,
sincere too.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm going to be like, I guess a lot of people have this. They're like, I'm going to say something to Hembeck that's going to make him stop whatever he's doing, look up at me, and be like, hey, bro, we need to go get a drink and talk or whatever.
He's like, I'm the town drunk. I threw out the last fucking pitch. Want to go get a drink?
Let's go get blottoed.
No, I don't mean like get a drink that way, but like he's going to see
You
me.
fool, I saw you at the fireworks last week with a 40.
You fell off the wall and you frightened my children.
Yeah, you hurt your arm, horrified my kid.
Go back to New York.
So you go up to him, and in your mind, you're like,
You know what? I'm going to say,
fucking...
I'm going to knock this fucker's socks off.
His socks are going to be on the other side of the
Because I'm
stadium.
going to tell him shit that I'm a fan of, that he's going to be like, I can't believe there's somebody here who knows this obscure stuff. I'm going to, and I'm thinking like he's going to see me as like somebody that he wants to talk to or something.
Right, a
I don't know
super
why
fan.
I thought that.
Right, because if somebody came to you and said, like, started talking a bunch of obscure shit, your reaction
That I did, though?
that you did, yeah, your reaction would be like, "Let's go hang out." Like, is that what you would say? Or-
I don't know what I was thinking. Do you know that what I'm talking about?
It was hot out. I didn't have my sun hat. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Do you know that feeling of like, I know something, or I'm going to say something that's going to be so meaningful?
These other fucking 5,098 people don't really appreciate Bill Hembeck.
Fred!
They're a bunch of Fred. Is that his name? I'm sorry, Fred. Fred. I gotta look at it again. Fred Hembeck. There are a bunch of fucking Johnsons out there that don't know
Right.
shit. They don't even know his name.
Okay.
I'm gonna
be the guy that's going to be, I'm going to make his day and my day.
You know,
right. Both days are
I,
gonna be made.
I met Roddy Piper once, the wrestler, and I told him a story that made him start crying. He literally broke down and started crying. His son was like, "Oh my God, like my father."
I molested your son.
Yeah, I told him the story. Like when I was a kid, I went to.
Well, wait, let Walt tell his story first.
No.
And then you can definitely.
No, it's a short story.
Someone
It's a
making
short
a
story. It's a
wrestler
short story.
cry.
He's gonna fucking trump your story big time, Walt.
No, not at all.
He likes doing that.
It wasn't even that bad of a story, but I just said, when I was a little kid, like he was my favorite wrestler, and my father surprised me by taking him to a match that he was at, and I was like, it was like the biggest thing that me and my dad had done up until that point. Like I fucking loved Roddy Piper, and I'm telling him the story, and I'm looking at him, and I see his eyes are glazing up, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. He just starts,
How old are you?
boring.
At this point, how old are you? When you told the story to a Rowdy?
late 20s, mid 20s.
Roddy goes, I wish I still had that money.
Yeah, and his son like ended up talking to me for like an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's
what you were looking for.
Yeah. I wanted Hembeck to cry.
Oh, he did when he went home to his fucking one room fucking in the boarding house with a bare electric bulb and shit. I used
Cooking
to be a
toast on a hanger.
Scooping Walt's on eating ice cream out of the garbage. I was a god amongst men. Fred, shut the fuck up! I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'll kill you. Spidey, look at you with Soup's cape on. So crazy. Not the kids like me anymore. What happened to Fred Hembecker?
I used to be Fred Hembecker.
Yeah. So you told Roddy this story and he got misty and shit. And
oh, not misty. He was crying.
It wasn't as if he was like at his mom's funeral.
Yeah. No, well, it wasn't like he wasn't throwing himself on the fucking floor, but he was down. He was like wiping his eyes and like sniffling and stuff. Yeah, it was nice.
That's a nice story. Yeah,
it was really nice.
That you could touch somebody like that, like a complete stranger, and just say like, well, maybe it's your delivery. What was your delivery like, Walt? So okay, so you're in line.
You be Fred Hembeck, then I'll tell you.
Okay.
I mean, visually, no one can see what we're talking about, but you're sitting there, sitting at a table. Your head is down.
Like one of those folding tables.
Yeah, like a.
How long was the line?
Like
how long did you wait in line for? Right, you're like, well, you just said you know, but for the people that don't know, for all you people that aren't sitting at this fucking table with us right now in the store, just so you know, it's like a folding table.
Right. How long was the line?
Did you wait longer for ice cream or to meet Fred Hembeck?
There was one person in front of me.
No, did he have like a P Diddy
chief?
Did he? He cut him. Did he have like a P Diddy guy that held an umbrella for him to keep him out of the sun?
He
was baking. Okay, so you're waiting at the table.
Do you want to hear this or not?
Yes, you're waiting at the table, and in your mind,
I'm waiting for less than a second. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, who do you want to make it out to? And I was like,
and his head's still down, or does he look at you?
His head's still down. You can make it out to Steve Dave. I was going to give it to Brian.
Oh, that's nice.
And
not you.
That's the only thing that made him pick his head up. He goes, well, which is it, Steve or Dave? And I said, well, it's a joke.
He doesn't like that kind of tomfoolery?
No, this is a guy
he said, so which is it, Steve or Dave?
Yeah. He goes, which is it, Steve or Dave?
Would you say he dabbles in humor?
Yeah,
obviously. He appears to be a stranger to it.
Jesus Christ.
So I say, it's Steve-Dave. It's a joke for my friend. I go, I just want to tell you, I said, I'm stumbling and bumbling because I'm not that guy.
Were you nervous? Like, would you say you felt some anxiety?
I was a little nervous. Not like where I'm like going to get on an airplane nervous, but I was like kind of like.
Or even getting married nervous.
Yeah, I was like, I had a little sweat on my back, but.
Maybe that's why. You got fucking water pouring down your face. You're shaking.
On my back only.
You haven't blinked once. Your eyes are all dry and got that white spittle in the corners of your mouth.
I wasn't that nervous, but I definitely felt a little moisture on my back. So I say, and I know it came across as like not coherent, like in terms of my sentences. Didn't make sense. I was like, I was a big fan of yours growing up, and really dug your Marvel Age stuff. And what else did I say?
I just imagine you like Mr. Krabs when he fucking tried to hit on Mrs. Puff, and he's like, So you said I'm a fan of your Marvel Age stuff.
I'm a fan of Marvel Age stuff and the FF roast. I got your omnibus, I said, and
so he had enough work that they collected it
in an omnibus,
and you bought it.
Yeah. And I said, I bet you, and he didn't even look up.
You were the guy.
He didn't even look up. And then I said, well, I bet you were happy that Brother Voodoo got his own comic because his running gag for years was Brother Voodoo was like a fifth string character one of the most ridiculous characters in comics. And he was always doing strips about Brother
Did you
Voodoo.
Think you would have won his heart by this point? You wouldn't even have to pull Brother Voodoo out of your back pocket?
Brother Voodoo out. And he goes, then he looks up, not even all the way. And he goes, yeah, they didn't even call me. And then he puts his head back down. That was it. He shuffled the book over the table, gave it to me, and
wait a second. Brother Voodoo wasn't his creation, right?
No.
He just championed for him to have his own book.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would they call him?
I don't even know what the joke meant.
Oh,
this point,
it doesn't sound like a joke.
At this point, I just grabbed it and it was like I just walked away. I was like, "Oh, that didn't go anywhere."
I just lost the respect of my daughter.
She was with me too.
Was she?
Yeah, she was.
Was she confused, or was she just like?
She didn't know what was going on.
Daddy, that man just pwned you.
How would she know? She
Daddy,
had no idea.
fail. No, of course you. Well, I don't know if maybe you had built up the history and shit prior
To her?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Like he drew the cover of this comic.
I just said to her, I was like, "Come over." I go, "Just want to stop over here. I want to get this guy to sign this comic."
Yeah, he's this guy. She's like, "Oh, that guy, the guy that's as close to becoming invisible as you can get without actually being invisible."
Why would you say that?
Because this fucking nobody treated you like a fool. You went up there, you spilled your childhood guts to him, and he's just like, whatever.
No,
that's shitty.
It just didn't go the way I thought it would.
Did Mike meet him?
Yeah, Mike went over and talked to him.
Can just talk into Ming's mic real fast. I want to know how your experience went with this.
Well, wait a minute. Ming had an experience because I sent Ming up to talk to him.
Well, let's hear Mike's first, and then because if somebody comes in the store. So you went to him. Now, did he receive you any better? Or?
Oh, yeah. I made him cry.
Or did you?
I
really?
did, yeah. I said, thank God for Dr. Voodoo being an Avenger now.
It was 15 minutes of jokes like that, and he just started crying.
Absolutely, just started crying. No, actually, he did look up to me, and he said, yeah, it was great. And about as...
So how much personality did he have?
He wasn't the most charismatic dude in town?
No. Actually, he had about as much charisma as the dude who sold me the hot dog.
But what didn't you think, like like me and you, we knew who Fred Hembeck was.
That was after hours in the parking lot. That's a euphemism.
Ew. The quote unquote.
They spent the $51 they made on Mike giving some fucking escort a blowjob.
But we enjoyed.
Where's that money?
We enjoyed his work as
Ming
teams,
held up his giant sign.
Oh yeah,
fucking Mike was behind it with the escort. So he had no charisma. He was not fun to talk to.
But didn't you think that Lowen, like we enjoyed his work, and that we would have thought a guy who created that fun, not laugh out loud, but like kind of like
made you smile. I mean,
not even LOQ, not even laugh out quiet.
But like, wouldn't you think he'd be a little bit more zany and more personable?
Sure, like you'd expect Matt Groening to be, because that's sort of what. That's
isn't like
bite your tongue. This dude is nowhere near Matt Groening.
But I think Matt Groening definitely was influenced by Hembeck. Sure. Not ripped off, but I bet you there's an influence there.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I haven't seen a fucking cartoonish Clifford the Big Red Dog in The Simpsons recently.
Oh my God.
I'm not giving him any credit. I don't like the way he treated you guys. Fuck him.
Well, I mean, I just don't. He didn't know who we were.
So he's got to know who you ought to treat.
But
you like
so
a
what?
human.
Yeah, like he should treat everyone. I mean, the fact that somebody stands in a line for a fucking guy who, like, quite frankly, like, I mean, he's not a titan of the industry, nor was he ever. Right?
Well, what did I expect him to do?
What did he expect it was going to be? What the fuck did he think when the Blue Claws contacted him? Through fucking his fucking grandmother's phone, who fucking relayed a message, says he probably doesn't have a fucking phone line. And they're like, oh, hey, Bill, or Fred, rather. Sorry. I don't know why I keep calling him Bill. Fred, they want you to go down to the Blue Claws and sign copies of this comic that you did a cover for. Now, do you think he got paid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he gets paid. He gets probably a room for the night. Maybe, right?
No, he lives in New York. I bet she just...
They made him drive back?
Yeah.
Gave him fucking bus fare back. And, you're going to get to go to the game. At one point, he could have been like, nah, I don't want to do that. Not come down there and bring all that fucking negative energy to two fucking guys you said you were 14? That was fucking 26 fucking years ago, 28 years ago? And you fucking 26 years ago, a guy like you, people you've gone to school with. I remember decades ago, you'd be like, I waved to him and they fucking looked at me and just kind of looked away. Why did I wave to him? Why would I, now I feel like a dick because I don't want to do that. The guy that we talked about on Highlands of People History, now available, right, Ming, on iTunes and all that shit. The guy that you worked with at Food Town dismissing you because he's with his businessman friends. Yet another fucking schmuck that you go up to and you're just like, not only am I going to say like, hello, but I'm going to pull something out to show this guy. He could have been Roddy. He could have been Rowdy.
Right.
But instead he was a fucking bitter dickhead.
I'm not saying he was a bitter dickhead. He just wasn't impressed with my knowledge of him. Maybe he thought I just pulled it out of my BlackBerry and just looked him up and I was just being a jerk or something.
Yeah. You think you carry a BlackBerry looking at you?
Huh?
Looking at you, you think you're carrying a BlackBerry around?
I don't know.
Gizmo and Gadget.
It didn't go the way I wanted. But this is what people do, though. Like, what you're doing is wrong, though.
Why is that?
Is like it didn't go. My personal experience, he didn't meet my personal experience. I'm going to hold it against him as if like he should have done a song and dance for me.
No. I'm not saying that he should have met this fucking fantasy world that you created the fucking 5 seconds that you were in line where you guys fucking went on vacation together. I'm saying that he could have at least been fucking civil and to not look up and just be like, oh, hey, how you doing? Glad handing a little bit, He could have done that. Like, don't take the money. Don't take the position of sitting at the fucking table if you're just going to be a douche the whole time.
Now, I got Ming to go up, but I fed him lines to say to the guy too. I was like, okay, he didn't like that. I'm going to come at him with even more obscure.
Did you think it was your approach? So you're like, maybe it wasn't the information. It was that I was fucking sweating all over him.
That could have been the case.
So I said, Ming, okay. So we had to go a little I was Fred and I told him what to say, and we had to go over it a couple times because he kept forgetting.
We had to rehearse it. We rehearsed it for a good 5 minutes.
I want to keep an eye on these J figures. The hot commodity.
So I set him up with some more obscure work that he did. Oh, I really loved your Peter Parker issue. Mm-hmm. Blah, 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 blah.
I noticed you at the laundromat last week, Fred.
Then you go up, and what does he say to you then?
I was a little more. You told me to go up and be animated, so that's what I did.
But I watched you. You didn't look very animated, though.
I was low. I was probably a little more animated than you were. I shook his hand.
You didn't even watch me do it.
I just.
I mean, how do you know how animated I was?
I tried to keep it high energy. You're not high energy. Very rare.
What did you do?
At that point,
would you say his approach was high energy, Walt?
His?
Yeah.
From what I saw, it wasn't as high energy as I asked him to be. I wanted him to go up and be like almost.
You wanted
manic.
him basically to almost get arrested.
Yeah, and I did the Fed rehearsed lines, and he was he lit up.
No,
he lit up.
He didn't light up.
Yeah, what did he say?
Where were you standing?
What did he say? Tell him the exact things that he said.
He looked up at me.
He kind of in a scoffing way and said,
"Not in a scoffing way."
You're not old enough to know that stuff.
He had a smile on his face.
Yeah.
He had a smile on his face when he said that, though.
But he said you're not old enough to know that.
Like,
well, he thinks you're a fucking 14-year-old because you look so young.
I think he might have something for younger people, I guess.
Like, what has he done recently that anybody would be aware of? Aside from this free comic and a fucking embittered, begrudging fucking appearance at a minor league baseball game.
Fandom artist.
Says who?
That's just a known thing. He's been deemed the greatest fandom artist of all time.
By who?
By the industry.
Who? What industry? The comics industry?
Yes,
Who the fuck? What heads of the industry got together and they're like, hey, fucking Fred Hembeck is fucking, he's the guy. Who said this?
He's the greatest fandom artist of all time.
Maybe the most well-known?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, there's a difference there. I'm not giving it to him. Quinn, you giving it to him after the way you treated all three of our friends?
Yeah, I am, because I should have been at that fucking game. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, that's true.
I apologize. I feel bad. I mean, I really wish you were there. I just didn't think you'd ever come.
Oh, I would have went. Absolutely, I would have went.
Dude, you're getting an invite to everything now.
I have season tickets.
I gotta go get underwear and socks later tonight. You want to come?
I have season tickets to the Staten Island Yankees.
Do you?
So, yeah, I'm all about.
All right. I mean, damn, I really wish you would have won.
I would have loved to.
He just didn't notice that fucking Yankees hat you've been wearing for the past 8 months. It's coming down here doing the show.
I thought that was just some sort of fashion statement.
Oh, you thought he was a bandwagoneer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that past him either.
Or the fucking Yankee hat I've been wearing for the past 15 years.
Yeah, you got upset. You thought you lost that.
But you know what? I'm a big Devils fan, but I would not have an interest in going to a minor league game.
But you're a baseball fan.
Yeah, I like watching baseball.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Never happen again.
It's in the past.
It won't happen again.
Like I said earlier, though, I wished that I had gone because where Ming fucking failed so dismally, I would have come through for you. I would have fucking annoyed and agitated that dude until he had to pay attention to me. And you had a great idea, and I told Suzanne afterwards, and I was like, that would have been awesome if Suzanne went up and she like pulled her shirt aside just a little bit of a nipple slip, and then just like went on and on and on about fucking how she was a fan of his and shit. I thought that would have been pretty awesome just to watch that because I would have get my video recorder and shit. And
well, he could have drawn Spider-Man in a cape on a tit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he could have done that. And then Walt would have been like, "Oh, you've done it again."